Okay, Barbie, I'd like to teach you a little bit about EFT. So EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. And basically what it is it's using the meridian points on the body, and I'll show you all the points in a minute, to tap on them. And what we're doing is sending a message to the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the part of the nervous system that creates the relaxation response. Now, when you have a fear, like you said, you had a fear of heights, what that is doing in your body is that your brain is stimulating the sympathetic part of the nervous system of your body. So it's stimulating that freeze response, that fight or flight response. Okay. So what we do is that we get you to focus on a memory or a feeling that has that freeze, fight or flight response where the sympathetic nervous system is in action in your body. Right. And we start tapping on all the points that stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, creating a relaxation response. So when you have a memory that normally sets up a fight or flight anxiety reaction in your body and you tune into that, you have that present in your body. Okay. And what we do is tap on the meridian points and stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system. And then all of a sudden, the brain has a different message. And what we do is counter-condition that conditioned response that you have from a memory. Okay. And when you have similar memories, instead of having that conditioned response that comes through, like when you have, when you're presented with a height, again in another situation, instead of that same conditioned response, we now have a different response, which is the parasympathetic nervous and the relaxation response. Okay. And then you always have that relaxation response. So I'll show you all the points. The first point we have is the karate chop point, right? The second point is the top of the head. The next point is the start of the eyebrow, right there on the bone. The next one is on the bone at the side of the eye, and you tap gently, not so hard that you're blinking, and not so soft that you can't feel it. Under the eyeball, on the bone. On the bone, yeah. Under the nose, on the chin, and the collarbone. That's a tricky one. So the collarbone is right where you feel the little knob, come in a little bit further, in closer, yep. That's it. And just underneath that, about an inch down and an inch to the side, there's a little hollow. And that's the point that you tap. That's the point. Yeah. Yep, and that's called the collarbone point. And the next point is under the armpit, about 4 inches down, into the side of the ribs, usually where the bra strap is. And that's the under the arm point. So the way EFT works is that we help you to tune in to the negative response that you're having for your body, or the fight or flight response, the anxiety response. And when you're tuned into that memory and that response and that physical response in your body, then that pattern is present in your body. And we tune into that by using the setup statement. And the setup statement is, even though I have this fear of heights, I love and accept myself anyhow. So just do that. This is just a very general statement. Okay. Even though I have this fear of heights, I love and accept myself anyhow. I love and accept myself anyhow. Now that's a very general statement. Right. What we do is try to make it more specific. So we work out where you're feeling that in your body. So where are you feeling that fear of heights? In my knees, my legs, and in my stomach. Okay. And when you have that feeling in your knees and your legs and your stomach, do you have a specific memory that goes to? Oh, yes. Okay, and what's that memory? Fear of heights, getting up on a diving board and standing at the edge. Okay, so let's make this setup statement a little bit more specific, because the more specific we are, the better we're tuned in. Okay. Even though I have this memory of getting on the high diving board. Even though I have this memory of getting on the high diving board. And I feel this fear in my knees and my stomach. I feel this fear in my knees and my stomach. I love and accept myself deeply and completely. I love and accept myself deeply and completely. Even though I have this fear of heights in my knees and my stomach. Even though I have this fear of heights in my knees and my stomach. I love and accept myself and my body anyhow.
I love and accept myself and my body anyhow.
Even though I have this memory of the high diving board,
even though I have this memory of the high diving board,
I love and accept myself.
I love and accept myself
and my body.
And my body.
So just stopping there, that's the start of the setup statement, and we usually repeat that 3 times. All right?
Okay.
And then we go to the points. Now, some people start with the eyebrow point, and they don't use the top of the head. The top of the head was actually an additional point that most people tend to use now.
Right.
So some people go straight to the eye and the outside, under the eye, nose, chin, collarbone, under the arm, and then they finish with the top of the head. It doesn't really matter what order you're doing it in, as long as you're getting all the points.
Okay.
So the next point we would do is using the reminder phrase. And the reminder phrase is just having a short statement to help you remind you what you're tuning into.
Right.
So we might say then, this fear memory.
This fear memory.
Climbing up the diving board.
Climbing up the diving board.
This fear in my knees and my stomach.
This fear in my knees and my stomach.
This climbing up the diving board fear.
This climbing up the diving board fear.
I feel it in my knees.
I feel it in my knees.
I feel it in my stomach.
I feel it in my stomach.
This fear in my knees and my stomach.
This fear in my knees and my stomach.
When I remember climbing up the diving board.
When I remember climbing up the diving board.
So that's as simple as it is just tuning in to the setup statement, which is stating the problem, even though I have this problem.
Even though I have this problem.
Which was the fear of heights.
Right.
And then that's the setup statement. So you have that tuning into the problem, and then the acceptance statement that I love and accept myself and my body anyhow. And then you tune into the points with the reminder statement, this fear of heights, I feel it wherever you feel it. And it's as simple as that. So you can keep it really simple and do that for yourself.
Okay.
But when you have really more difficult or in-depth fears, it's really great to see a practitioner who is trained to take you into it more deeply, which we'll do in a session in a minute.
Okay.
So thank you.
Thank you, Jenny.